Before we start, we would like to thank Rile for making this possible. If you want to know more about Rile, go to rile.space. That's RILE.SPACE.
Krõūt walks onto the stage with one of her eponymous large purses and sits front stage, uncentered. Actually, slightly too far for us to see everything. She starts to cautiously take a strange array of stuff out of her bag. Some old aluminium foil, random objects, usual and unusual junks that tend to sediment in the depths of our handbags. It is hard to see. It is as if she's building a small world from these knickknacks. Soon, salt drops from the sky of this micro-world. It pours over the landscape. Here a few drops, there a massive avalanche. It is hard to see. Krõūt seems to build a world with the same dedication we usually attribute to a child, what an adult audience could describe as randomly absorbed, deeply committed, and yet uninterested, paying no attention, yet aware of who might be the audience of her activity. She takes another handful from a bag and lays colorful figurine amid the decor. She dips further, a thread that she will use to attach a dinosaur figurine. She then stands and goes for a walk with the dinosaur. She walks the small dinosaur, handheld from the thread. The dinosaur goes on a walk across the vast land of the stage. On their path, the dinosaur meets other animals, some discussing and telling prophecies in the dark. It is hard to see.
That was a memory of Krõõt Juurak's performance portfolio titled Presentation, performed in 2012 at Impulse Dance. And this podcast is made on the occasion of the release of a monograph on the work of Krõõt Juurak titled Animal, Family, Not a Bad Mood, Audience, Not Sleeping, Bad Mood. The monograph is edited and published by Galerie. If you want to know more about Galerie, go to galerie.international. That is GALERIE.international. Thank you for listening. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Here is Galerie and Krõõt Juurak.
It's the first time that we get the chance to gather, but not gather physically together, but that we are the three of us. Krõõt Juurak, Simon, Asencio, and Adriano, Wilfert, Jensen, AAK Galerie. And we are here tonight to discuss about a book that we made together. But things is that now you have like hard copies, Krõūt, and
Hard cover. I have a soft. It's soft. It's not hardcover. It's soft cover.
It's true.
Paper. It's it sounds good.
Yeah. So the title is Animal, Family, Bad Mood, but actually Audience, and Bad Mood again because not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And it's handwritten on top by the gallerist, by the publisher. Yeah, it was all existing things, and I had a kind of a 1 week in the Tanskurt 2 years ago, And every day I showed then excerpts from various works, and that's how this stuff got categorized into animal, family, audience, bad mood, sleeping, and so on. And yeah, so this was the starting point, I guess, because the material is more or less the same. And what took you guys so long was to write the introduction, because the design, as far as I can see, it's also not, it's like recycled. So you copied and pasted the same out, like everything is like it was on the internet. And it's a collection of very different types, fonts and layouts, and yeah, a couple of photos too.
Yeah. And also we started to work on this publication because Krõõt, we were representing some of your work in the gallery, which is a immaterial gallery for immaterial artworks. And we were representing works of yours such as Bad Mood or Internal Conflicts or Performances for Pets, a work that you do in collaboration with Alex Baile. And yeah, so it was like quite some time that also, I mean, we've known each other so for some years. You've been also our teacher in different workshops, and also a friend. But yeah.
What else could we do then? What can
I guess anything that would like introduce a bit what you do would be relevant for the people who might be interested in the book.
Yeah, first of all, it's like very strange for me to imagine that someone would be like, yeah, I wonder if this book is relevant for me. And I'd be like, I'm sure it's not relevant for you. So that's out of the question. That question is out of the way. But I do think for some people it might be funny, and some parts are funny. For example, if someone is like a young person and they're struggling in school, I think they could be quite fun for them to read my thesis from art school, where I just tried to fail, or I just don't want to do it, and I record all my conversations where I kind of say that I can't do it because I'm in a bad mood, and then I kind of get away with it fully. Like even the first time when they fail me, I record that too, and when I type that defense discussion into the thesis, they are like, "That's great, congratulations." And so I graduated, and I didn't. I felt like I had fun. It could be fun to read. In fact, it is in at least one art school. It's in compulsory reading literature. So I guess in order for no one to be doing that again, because it's tempting. I mentioned it's tempting. Yeah. Would you recommend it to someone?
Yeah, to quite a bunch of people. Yeah. In the way of how, in my opinion, how it can talk about the practice of an artist dealing with performance, but without really capturing what the performance is, but finding ways of talking about it or describing it or understanding it without knowing or capturing it. And I think it's quite interesting to be able to deal with performance in that way. It's like also bringing questions that performance should not necessarily happen on stage, but also can happen through reading or seeing an image.
So it's actually very COVID friendly, because I mean, now everyone's pondering how to do stuff not in the theater. And yeah, there are ways. But recently someone told me, Pia Lawrence, what's her name, from APOS, and she said that she's doing performance to get to the root of the problem, or where the questions arise of what is being an artist, or what is art and cultural activities. Actually, to the root of everything is in performance. I couldn't agree more with her. Like, it is actually, the other explanation that I give myself is that I'm doing performance because of laziness, because I don't feel like buying materials, or deciding for, or also having skills to use those materials. But that's one side of it, and the other side is that it's the root of the problem. It's like performing yourself, whoever you are, artist or not artist, that's where performance is. So it's not foreign as performance art, as something super weird or restricted to the people who studied art. but yeah, when I like to think that it's actually everywhere. Everything is has a thing with performance.
But there is this old fairy tale in the East, Estonia or Russia. It's about a creature that is not part of the situation. Not bird, not animal, they say. It is a bat. The story is that, first of all, the animals of the world decide to together clean up the mess that is the earth. They gather around their leader, the lion, and make a full day of collective action. Then one of the animals meets the main character of the story because the bat is clearly not working together with the others, not contributing to the action. The animal asks, why are you not joining us for this collective action to make the world a beautiful surface? And the bat says, oh, but I'm not really an animal, you see. Look, I can fly. I'm a bird. And the bat flies around a bit to demonstrate that it is a bird. The next day, all the birds of the world gather together and decide to make the sky blue. Each one has to bring a blue flower from the earth and put it high in the sky, and like this, the whole sky should become blue. And then, in the middle of the action, one of the birds will meet the bat and ask, why are you not joining in the work? Look how everyone is working. And the bat answers, well, but I'm not really a bird. I'm actually more like an animal. And they make some moves to demonstrate that they're an animal and not a bird. The second part of the story is that after all the work, the earth and the sky really turn out great, and they will celebrate it with a party. The birds are flying in the air in circles and lines and triangles, but then the bat flies in and disturbs. One bird asks quite angrily, what are you doing here? You're an animal, like you said, not a bird. Then the bat immediately leaves and goes to the animal party, and there all the different animals are dancing in circles. When the bat flies in, they immediately ask him, hey, but we thought you were a bird. As you said before, you better go to the bird party. Then the bat goes to their own cave, the place where they sleep, and hangs there upside down, quite frustrated. They look into the camera and say, yes, you birds and animals, you are powerful and you are many, but I, on the other hand, I'm one. I'm me. And then the voiceover takes over and says, and for thousands and thousands of years, the bat hung there upside down in the dark cave.
I just saw passing that you will be giving a lecture in China in a seminar, and that you wrote that the pandemic has been very good for your artistic career or something like that.
It's true. I have this talk, a presentation tomorrow in mainland China, and I stated actually that this was. I will talk about how this is the peak of my career already, or only now. I'm not sure. And it's true in the sense that I am so lucky to live in Austria, where most of the freelance artists who are registered at the Social Security are receiving just money for nothing, without having to produce anything or show receipts. And it's the first time this happened to me. And I feel I always dreamt of this moment of just not working for money, not having to worry or do stuff for money. And so this is actually as good as it can get for me. And it's probably not going to last. I mean, the vaccine is coming, and I'm fearing to go back to the regular way of being an artist. That's why I would say this is a great time for me and my so-called career.
And what is the talk you give in China?
I will mix up, what is this, like 3 or 4 formats. So the things that we miss now in live events, for me that's having breaks and chatting with other people who come to see a show, whispering, gossip. And I find that when we do online Zoom events, then all that is like cleanly cut away. So there's no chance for anyone to talk with anyone else. You might be lucky if you see them present, and that's already great. So I will try to include a lot of socializing for the people that attend this presentation. And I'll also, of course, I'll talk about some of my works and give some examples, and then do maybe some games. I mean, the whole thing is a bit like a game / presentation.
It's titled Autodomestication, right?
Yeah. That's kind of like a standard title now for my everything I do. Leaves space to imagine, and it allows me to like do whatever that comes up, because then people will still have to figure out how this relates to autodomestication.
In the book there is a text that is called Autodomestication. What is it?
It's been different things. It started when I had to answer the question, what is the responsibility of the artist? And that question was so irritating, and I also couldn't say no to trying to at least come up with a talk for this event about the artist's responsibility. And instead of like answering it directly, I simply compared the different responsibilities that pets have and artists. So pets as artists, and I showed pictures how cats, dogs, mice, hamsters, fish, and I mean all different kind of animals are valuable to their owners for being themselves and for being creative and for their fresh view on, or they're not fresh, but for their different view on our life and society. And so there are similarly, artists are, let's say, valued for being themselves. So the more you manage to be just you, is the better that is. And also we often forget that as artists, that it's not so important that we work or what our work is, but actually just existing in the society is a power in itself. Like how artists, let's say, gentrify or make a neighborhood kind of cool, or how they decide basically what the public opinion could be on things. And yeah, so this is the backstory for Autodomestication. And it has been inspiring for me personally, because I also struggled to understand like how to position myself, and I wasn't happy with competing with my friends and colleagues for opportunities. And I wasn't happy also having negative feelings about my colleagues, some of my colleagues' works. So for example, that I solved for myself by like just looking at different types of pets and how they might not be friends with each other. Or, you know, there's like, let's say we have some people like snakes and some people like turtles, and some are cat people and some are dog people. And but end of the day, they all belong to the pet industry and participate in that as pets. And so we have to remember that we're colleagues, no matter what we look like or what we eat. So yeah, it's like therapy for me personally. It's just to, and it's also, let's say, a way to find a standing point politically, micro-politically. So to be like, it's more than just announcing solidarity, but it's like how to really embody solidarity, or to make it fully understandable for myself. So I think for me, it's not enough just to call the word solidarity, but it has to be really, yeah, I needed to solve that basically.
What's the relation for you between pedagogy and art making? Because this auto-domestication seems to come up in both spaces.
Oh, it's just, it's a difference of formats. So there are workshops where people come with different expectations than they come to live performances, and it's sometimes even different people, and there are different expectations when you go to a presentation. I equally like and dislike all these formats, and with workshops there are some things that allow, let's say, learning maybe differently and getting to know each other differently than a live event or a presentation. I mean, really, I don't think there's a difference for me artistically. It's really like I could work with any of this. It's a bit like painting, drawing, and sculpture.
It makes me think that it's a different, like when you say it's a different format, it's a different way of practicing as a spectator or as a workshop participant. Like the questions, yeah. And it makes me think also about the work performances for pets. And yeah, I'm just remembering this work that you once proposed to us, which was a workshop on sleeping taught by a dog, in which human participants were invited to attend a workshop led by a dog who was sleeping, and to observe and understand like what sleeping means, or how to relate to sleep with an animal, a pet. It's more common, but
yeah, it's amazing how pets and animals can teach workshops, because we already know that what the workshop can do and what it can be. So, and I enjoy how, let's say, the participants of the workshop can fill in so much, so that the teacher actually, when you or anyone walks into a room and is assigned to be the teacher of the workshop, so much is already given in that moment that you do not need to say that you're the teacher. You don't need to prove that you're the teacher. And in fact, if the topic, in this case sleeping, is already announced, everybody is clear to go. And it's very, I was really enjoying learning sleep from a dog. And with the performances for pets, I admit that we are also still taking advantage of the popularity of pets, and so somehow this work has really propelled into like popular culture, and like we never got so many interviews on any other of my works, and that is thanks to the pets. So still, we owe pets. And when we decided to perform for them, it was a bit like, well, we want to just try if we are good enough. And we were like, maybe, me and Alex were like, maybe we won't be. And well, but we had to come up with some idea. So we were like, okay, let's try it. It sounds so silly, and really it is a silly idea. But we kept doing it, and slowly through, also it's somehow important to keep going when it's possible. And only later have we like found out how performances for pets also helps their humans, and even people who haven't seen it. Not doesn't help them, but let's say it's a little bit like, it's a performance for pets, but it's a pedagogical experience for everyone else. For some people, it's pedagogical to be like, how is this not for me? It's how is this not for humans? And for someone else is to ask the question like, but how do animals know if it's art? And how do I know if it's art? And how does anyone know, in fact? Or if pets are audience members, then or if they are also artists, then now I'm getting a bit carried away asking questions that I have no idea who is asking those anyway. But yeah.
I remember also that when we started to suggest to represent as part of the gallery performances for pets, you and Alex invited us to come to Vienna and to learn with you how the performance is happening, and so how Adriano and I could perform for dogs, just to understand also what the works entail. And I remember very much in the practice, because then Adriano and I performed for a few dogs, more or less successfully. But then it was also about understanding of how do pets deal also with the unknown, with a form of also maybe stress or anxiety of what you see, you're not used to it. And I remember that for me also as a performer for pet, I learned a lot in understanding also what is the relationship of an audience to a performance, and how do we deal with what we don't know, what we expect, how do we fear or enjoyment, or
And you find out what kind of audience member you tend to be also, right? And
yeah, indeed, yeah. You're like how you behave, yeah.
mm. So everyone's just muted out. Should I fill the silence with something? I really enjoy having questions or some other kind of prompts. If you need any advice, I'm really into giving advice as well.
I mean, maybe I need small talk advice.
Small talk, yeah. I mean, the small talk, I think, is the most problematic maybe for me. Or maybe because it's so old. And small talk also needs to be really up to date. And I wrote it like the same day of the show, of the premiere, so that it would be super fresh. I mean, I wrote it like a few days because it's 20 pages, but now some of it is like so outdated, and I hope there is like some kind of historic value to this eventually, that now it's like not old enough because it's from 2008, but also not totally not fresh anymore. So
but we were just rereading the script, the first script number 1, that actually starts like nowadays Zoom sessions, which is like is this thing on?
that's true.
Hello, 1 2 1 2, hello. It's like, yeah, I want.
That's true. It could really be a Zoom scripted talk. Well, you're right. Yeah, maybe it could even be re-performed as a Zoom show. Wow. Yeah. Maybe.
Is this thing on? Hello? 1 2 1 2. Hello?
1 2. Can you hear me?
Yes, fine. Let's start. Who is A?
Okay, I'm B.
C?
Who is A?
I think it's me. A, B, C.
B C A.
End of script 1.
That was short.
That was just a tryout, I think, to check if everything is working okay.
I see. Yes, it works fine.
Yes, for me too.
So, and now what?
I don't know. I think it's over, but the next conversation will start then.
But are we going to read all the scripts?
Really?
No, I don't think so. Let's see.
Oh, I see. Oh, so let's hear. What is this thing really about? Small talks between audience members.
Let's see. This is a kind of like waiting for.
But without Godot.
And without the 3.
Who's the 3? Hello, hello. 1 2 1 2 3.
But I also feel a bit, let's say it's called a monograph and stuff. So I'm like, wow, that's it? That's my work. So what if I do something else? And it's not in there. Yeah. And what if the interview I just gave like a few weeks ago, that was really funny, and why is that not in this book? So it's this always disappointments, and so it's there also with this book. Yeah, that's it, I guess. And what we have at the back is, I'm not a good student. I'm not also the worst one. I'm just a student. But I mean, really, I could have said I'm an artist, not a good one, but also not the worst one.
Let me tell you a lie. I have mice inside me. It's true. I can't remember right now how it is true, but I know it is. Ha ha ha. I like cats. Video. The other day my teacher told me, "Do you understand anything at all? Do you understand what I'm doing here? Do you have any idea what you are doing here?" I answered, "No, I don't." "Do you know who I am?" "I know you are the program coordinator. You coordinate the program. And I am a student. I'm not a good student, but I'm also not the worst one. I have my ways." "You are sneaky," she said. "That's true."